Hi everyone, welcome back to Modern World Online Computer Training. Yep, this is Erasmus Johnson with you again. In our last video, we discussed about Module 1, which was about Introduction to Computers. We discussed about definition and purpose of a computer, types of computers, where we discussed about desktops, laptops, mainframe computers, supercomputers, and many more. So this is completed. We also discussed about the basic hardware components of a computer. We discussed about input devices, which is, for example, keyboard, mouse, and others. We also discussed about output devices. For examples are monitor, printer. Then we also discussed about the CPU, which we referred as the brain of the computer, and the storage devices, where we discussed about the HDD and SSD and USB drive. So we are done with this as well. And then we also discussed about the proper way to on or off a computer. We also discussed about the sleep mode, hibernate mode, and restart mode. We are done with this. Tracking our progress. Yes, we are 14% completed now. So here we shall be going straight to our module 2, which is operating system basics. In operating system basics, we shall start by understanding the desktop. When you hear the word desktop, what comes into your mind? The word desktop has two meanings. You can see it in this way. There is a desktop hardware and a desktop software. Let's first understand a desktop hardware. A desktop hardware, this is the physical computer. We discussed about the physical computer. In the types of computers, we had a desktop which has a case. Usually it has a case. It has a monitor, keyboard, mouse, speakers, and other attachments to the computer. And remember, inside the case, we have the motherboard. And the motherboard is the main circuit board that connects all the components, allowing them to communicate with each other. It's the backbone of the system. And we also have the graphic processing unit, which is the GPU. This handles all graphic operations from drawing the desktop to rendering complex 3D scenes in games. A powerful GPU is crucial for gaming, video editing, and design work. Also, inside the case of a desktop computer, we have the storage devices. This stores your operating system programs and all your files permanently, even when the power is off. Here, that's where we have the solid state drive, the SSDs, which are much faster than the traditional hard disk drive, the HDDs. We also had a video about the comparison between the SSD and HDD. If you have not watched the video, you can check in our previous videos and then understand more about the SSD and the HDD. Inside the case of the computer, we also have the cooling system. So these components like the CPU and the GPU generate a lot of heat. Cooling systems, which can include fans, heat sinks, or liquid coolings, are essential to dissipate this heat and prevent overheating. Also inside the computer case, we have the CPU. Yes, this is the brain of the computer. The CPU executes instructions and performs calculations. Its speed is measured in gigahertz. This is the major factor in computers' overall performance. We also have the RAM, which is the temporary memory, random access memory. This high-speed storage that the CPU uses to hold data for programs that are currently running. More RAM allows you to run more applications smoothly at the same time without slugging. This data is cleared when the computer is turned off. When you turn off the computer and you have not saved, you work on the HDD or the SSD, which is the permanent storage, you will lose your work. We also have the power supply or the PSU, the power supply unit. This converts the power from the wall outlet into specific DC voltages needed by all the computer's internal components. And about the monitor, like we discussed, this is the display or the screen where you see the computer's visual output, including the desktop applications and videos. And the keyboard, this is an input device for typing. Remember the word input devices. A monitor is the output device because it displays, and a keyboard is an input device used for typing or entering commands and using keyboard shortcuts to control applications. A mouse is also an input device, a pointing device used to move a cursor on the screen, allowing you to select, click, and interact with the graphic elements. We also have speakers, talk, headphones. These are also output devices. They produce sound, allowing you to hear music, system notifications, and audio from videos. There are so many other devices that can be connected, such as printers for printing documents, scanners for digitizing physical items. So a scanner is an input device and a printer is an output device, because when you scan, you get the physical information, you scan it and make it digital, then you put it on your computer. So a scanner is an input device, whereas a printer, you get the digital information, then you print it out into hard copies, which are physical. So a printer becomes an output device. And then we also have the webcams and microphones for video calls and whatever. So microphone would be an input device because it puts sound inside, where it's the opposite of the speakers. So this is the physical computer or the desktop computer when we hear the word desktop. Now let's see the word desktop in the software way. Okay, the graphical user interface, GUI. When you open your monitor or when you start up your computer, what you see is called as desktop. That's the desktop. So here are the main things found in a desktop. You'll find, like, for example, folders where you can put your files. You can find your web browsers. You can find the recycle bin and all other applications installed on your computer. That becomes the desktop. So a folder, a small graphic image. Actually, this folder, this is the folder. These are called icons. This is one icon, this is another icon, and this is another icon. Therefore, an icon is a small graphic image that represents applications, files, or folders. If you double click, the icon typically opens. When you double click, it will open. If you double click on the icon for a browser, it will directly take you to the internet. It will open where its location. And recycle bin, if you open it, you will see all your deleted files that will be inside there. So this that you see, and here we also have the taskbar, which is always at the bottom. However, sometimes it can be in the sides of your screen, but usually it is at the bottom. This consists, it has all open applications would be showing somewhere down here, and then it has the time. It has where when you're connected to internet to be showing you. It also has the the battery icon where you can see how your battery is going. So all this that you view is the desktop of a computer. Hope you got the difference between desktop, meaning the desktop computer, the physical computer, and desktop, or the interface of, or the software of a computer, like desktop in form of software and then desktop in form of hardware. You should be able to differentiate the two, because as we move on, we shall be using the words desktop but in different meanings. Thank you for this video. Now our next video will be about about part 2 of module 2 of this computer. See you in our next video. Remember to subscribe, remember to share, and remember to comment anything that you need. We shall be in the comment section to reply your comments. See you in next video. Bye.